very much for my great intro there. I appreciate that. And I want to thank everybody for joining me and Eric and all of us today. Got some exciting information to share with you guys. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear here, assuming I am. Let me open up my question box here. So we've got a lot of people joining us from all over the country, like Eric mentioned, lots of different states. And we have room for more licensees in basically every single part of America. We only have about 600 or so licensees all over the country. So if you're looking to get into this business, whether you're in a very small rural area or if you're in a very big metropolitan area, large city, there are plenty of there's plenty of space and there's plenty of opportunities, as I'm going to show you today. So at any point during this webinar, if you have any questions about anything at all, just type them into that question box and I'll be pausing here and there and going through the questions and going through some of this stuff with you guys and answering questions. So what we're doing on this webinar is we are getting back to basics. We are going to cover this opportunity, the ABS opportunity, starting with why would you want to work with a company like American Business Systems? I'm going to get into the market potential that this business has. You're not going to believe the market potential. I mean, it's just huge. It's just massive. I'm going to talk about all the different services that you can offer because guess what? We do a lot more than just medical billing. A lot more potential revenue streams for you. I'm going to cover the training and support that we provide you. That's really the reason why people work with us, is because we can train you and we support you on the back end and we can get you generating revenue very, very quickly with this business. Then towards the end of the webinar, we're going to get into the potential earnings, the income potential for this business and why a doctor would want to choose you. You know, I talk to people all the time that ask me, there's so many different ways to get it done. Why would a doctor pick me? I mean, aren't they doing it in-house? And yeah, a lot of them are trying to manage their billing and a lot of these other things in their offices. And they've got a lot of issues there. They've got overworked, undertrained staff. You know, a lot of times they've got staff that are overpaid for what they're doing. They don't have a lot of time to really focus on helping the doctors with their insurance claims and make sure those are filed in a timely manner and followed up on properly. So I'm going to show you why you are going to stand out from all of those other people that are just offering just billing services alone. And that's a little secret right there. The reason why you stand out is because you're going to have a lot of different solutions for them just outside of medical billing. So let's talk a little bit about why ABS. So this is a family business. My parents started this company a long time ago. Look at their smiling faces right there. They're so happy. They're so happy because I'm running the business now and they can go do whatever it is that they do. You know, my mom, she has this society with these ladies with purple hats on or something. I don't know. They go out and they just do lunches and board games. That's all they do now. So she was the founder of the company and he also was the co-founder. And she actually was the one doing the most work. So we established the company in 1994, like Eric mentioned. We have been doing this for 25 years, a long time. Even prior to 94, they had actually started, my parents had actually started doing some billing and some transcription work and all kinds of other stuff in the late 80s before they even founded ABS. And so they've been doing this so long, I actually have memories of my mother using a typewriter to do medical billing. So she would actually stick this paper form. It was called a two-part form where you smash on it with a typewriter. And for those of you that don't know, a typewriter is a mechanical device that had these little keys on there, and you would smash the key, and then it would smash the paper, and then and you get it done that way. But you'd have to you know, any little error that you would make, you'd have to scroll it and unscroll it and get white out, you know, and white out, you know, things that were wrong. And hopefully some of you guys are able to identify with the hassle that was. So that was in the late 80s, and then computers came along and they got modernized, and then we started doing web-based software. and it's much, much more efficient now. And it's very, very difficult for insurance companies to misplace claims. You know, back when it was paper and we were mailing in the claims, they would, you know, we figured they were like shredding every third, you know, insurance claim, because there was no way you could prove if it got there or not. But now you can. So anyway, luckily it's a lot easier these days, but we've been doing this for a long time. That's my point. I came on board full time about 13 years ago, and I've been helping them ever since. And we've just been, the business has been growing, and we've been able to help many, many, many people, just like some of you that are on here today, start their own business offering these kind of services to doctors. And you don't have to have any experience at all. We give you all the training that you need. So the other thing with ABS is we have verified reviews, and that's a key thing, is verified reviews. So if you guys search us on Facebook, Google, and even the Better Business Bureau, I don't even know if that's really still a thing anymore, the BBB, but if you go to any of those three sites, you can find verified reviews with real, actual human beings that have actual Facebook accounts, actual Google accounts, and these are licensees of our company who have said, yeah, ABS is exactly what they say they are. So if you guys want to go and check those out, I'd be happy to share those links with you, or you could just Google our name and you'll find them. But verified reviews are very important. So the other thing with ABS, you know, why would you want to go with a company like ABS? Well, we give you the same kind of training and ongoing support that a franchise would, except we're not a franchise. So what you're doing here is we actually help you create your own business entity, your own company name, your own logo, all of that good stuff. And so you're truly an independent business owner, and you're able to run this business however you want to. There are licensees that keep it kind of small and home-based. There are licensees that have 6,000 square foot offices with, you know, dozens of data entry people, hundreds of clients. It takes a lot of work to get there, but you can. There are no restrictions. There are no royalty fees, like I mentioned, no ongoing support fees, anything like that. No market area restrictions, so no restricted territories. And that actually works really, really well in this industry, because a lot of doctors do business by referrals. So we are going to show you how to get referrals from people in other industries, which I'm going to talk about here in a moment. But also doctors, they love to talk to other doctors about services that they find that they fall in love with. So, you know, a lot of times what happens is our licensees will sign up a few doctors in their neighborhood. And as long as you provide good customer service, they love the software, they love the technology. So they're going to talk to their colleagues about you. And those doctors can be anywhere in the country, no matter where you are located. And the fact that our system is totally cloud-based and virtually paperless now, it's actually very easy to have clients that are not even in your state. Some of our licensees, when you get to the point of talking with some of our business owners, they will tell you a large percentage of their business is not even in their own state, just from referrals that they got. There's no product to stock. There's no teenagers to manage. You know, this isn't like a fast food joint where you got to hire and retrain teenagers all the time. And like I said, you can run the business anywhere in the world with an internet connection, because it's a cloud-based system. So yes, you can go sit on a beach in Jamaica, sipping on a drink of some sort, and you can still access the system. Now, why you'd want to be working while you're in Jamaica, I don't know, but you can if you want to. So let's talk about market potential. By the way, just as a reminder for those that are on here, any questions at all, feel free to type them in. I've got one from Michael Houston is asking, do you know when the trainings after June will be? Okay, so our June training is the week of the 10th, and that's right around the corner. I realize it's a little bit too fast for some of you guys. So the training after that is going to be July 22nd, that week. So if that works for you, great. We do have some space for that July 22nd class. If for some reason it doesn't, and the timing is just weird, and you can't get to a live training at all, maybe, we actually will do our full training program online for you. So that is another option as well for those of you, maybe if somebody can't travel or schedule just won't allow it. So let's talk about market potential. All right, so we have this little pie chart here that we like to show. We've shown this on a few webinars before, but it just shows you this current spending situation. It is just growing by leaps and bounds how much money is being thrown around and spent in the healthcare industry. And if you notice down there, the very small percentage is dental. So there are companies who will tell you, hey, you need to do dental billing. Now, there's no money to be made in dental billing. Now, we have a platform for dental if you want to go down that road, but it's not recommended. It's just such a small piece of the pie compared to the money that you can make on the other types of services and marketing to doctors, not dentists. So let's talk about this book that's out. Entrepreneur Magazine came out with this little startup book, Start Your Own Medical Claims Billing Service. You guys can go buy this online if you want to try to do this on your own. So here's some quotes from that article here. It says, there is a market for medical billers. It's growing exponentially. There's a legion of providers and an expanding patient pool. Medical billing is expected to grow, and spending is expected to grow by 5.8% each year through 2024. So it basically is just letting you know that this industry is absolutely healthy. And then it says, healthcare spending will total $5.43 trillion and account for 19.6% of the GDP. So it is big business and shows no signs of slowing. It's literally, this industry is just growing year after year after year. Ever since we started in '94, every single year, no matter what is happening in the economy, no matter who's president, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's wild. So, every single one of you on this webinar, if you became a licensee, you have a great potential of getting a small piece of this pie. And when I say small, I mean you could get to a six-figure income with just a handful of doctors, which I'll show you here in a moment. So who is your target market? Well, you're able to market to any medical provider anywhere in the United States, like I mentioned. But guess what? You don't have to just market to people that wear lab coats and stethoscopes. We have services for anyone who's filing a medical claim form. So durable medical equipment companies, pharmacies, ambulatory, labs, I mentioned dental. We do have a hospital platform that you can market to hospitals, and some of our ancillary services are great for some of these companies here. We actually have some services that you can market to general industries as well, not even outside of the healthcare industry. So it just really kind of, it's just really huge, guys. It's huge. All right. So let's talk about services offered. Now, this is outside of the medical billing service that we call iClaim and the partner service called EMRX, which I'm going to talk about, the medical records platform. So these are the ancillary services that you can offer. I'm going to kind of go into just a little bit on how some of these services work and what they look like. All right. So let's talk about our coding and audit services that we have. If you have been researching medical billing, coding, and doing some of that research online about how to get something like this started on your own, every article that you read, everything that you see will say you have to be certified in coding. The doctors will not even talk to you unless you're coding certified. So please pay us $29.95 or whatever it is for our coding course or whatever the case may be. You have to pay a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. You have to take, I think a coding course is around a year or two to get completely certified in coding. Well, guess what? We've already taken care of that part for you. So how it works is our iClaim medical billing software is cloud-based, and we keep it updated with all of the latest medical codes built in. For those of you that don't know, everything that can go wrong with the human body, there's a code number related to that. And that code number has to be selected by someone and put on the medical claim form to be sent into the insurance company so that the doctor gets paid. Well, there's a lot of codes that have to be managed. I mean, whenever we came out with this new version, ICD-10, version 10, that's the new coding database. We went from something like 16,000 codes to over 70,000 codes. And so it's been a real challenge for the doctors to try to manage that. But because we have all the codes built into our system and the database is maintained by us, our system makes it very easy for the doctors to find the codes that they need and choose the right ones and send them over to the billing company. Now, if a doctor says, hey, I am trying to manage a lot of different codes here and I want somebody to help me make sure I'm doing it right. Are you certified in coding? Can you help me? Then the answer is yes, but guess what? We have certified coders that have already gone through coding school. They're fully certified and you can use our coders. So they will code the claim for the doctor and then send it back into the iClaim system for you, the licensee, to process the claim like you normally do. And this is a service that you can charge extra money for. Like for example, if a doctor says, yeah, let's do it, I need help with my coding, every claim that they have coded by you, you pay our coders $3.50 to do it, and you can charge the doctor, $8 a claim, let's say. It's kind of an arbitrary number, but we can help you with that. So that's on top of the percentage that you're charging the doctor for doing the billing work. So you're not making a ton of extra money on that, but it's nice to know that you can go through our 5-day training class and that's it. You can promote yourself as a certified coding company because of these coders that we already have. That seemed like that was very long-winded, but I hope that made sense. Let's talk about Audit Guard. So Audit Guard is kind of related to the CodeWrite service in that it does look at the coding that the doctor has been doing already. So what Audit Guard does is it will actually help protect a doctor from a Medicare audit. So Medicare has these people that they're sending out to doctors' offices. They're called Recovery Audit Contractors, RAC contractors. And these people are paid a commission to find problems and errors in a doctor's practice regarding how they're coding, how they're doing their charting. There's several different areas of issue there that they look at. But mainly they want to see if the doctor is coding correctly or not, because some doctors, they're coding incorrectly on purpose. They're committing fraud. Some doctors are just simply making mistakes and they don't mean to. But it doesn't matter. If they find a problem, the Medicare fines are huge. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines. So what this Audit Guard program does is it will review a series of the doctor's charts and will identify any possible coding errors, and then we make recommendations to the doctor on how they should be doing things. So basically, once they've gone through this pre-audit that we do, if Medicare were to come and do an audit, it doesn't guarantee that they won't be fined anything, but it greatly reduces the chances of them being fined by Medicare. So doctors love that service. Let's see, Jessica is saying, how is the money paid to your coders? Yeah, so like I just mentioned, you're actually paying them directly for the work that they're doing for you, and you're marking that up and you're charging the doctor a higher fee, obviously, so you're able to make money on that. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. All right, so here's another picture of Audit Guard real quick. These are just some of the reports. They do a very, very thorough series of reports and pie charts and graphs and all kinds of stuff in a little binder that the doctor can then see and just at a glance know exactly what he or she is doing right, what they're doing wrong, and the corrective action that they need to take. So that's what the Audit Guard service does for them. So there's another service called Quick Collect, and this actually can replace a doctor's need for a collection agency. There are a lot of doctors that are struggling with the money that the patients owe them. And some of them want to collect on that. And some doctors, they just don't want to do it. They don't want to upset anybody. They just write it off. But if a doctor does say, hey, can you help me collect on these past due accounts? We have this service called Quick Collect. And you're going to see a trend here. This is another service where you don't do any of the work. So you're not calling little old ladies trying to get their money. You're not writing letters. We have a company where you can send the doctor's patients to this Quick Collect company, and they do letter writing and phone calling and stuff like that. It's similar to a collection agency, except the doctor actually gets to collect a lot more money for a lot less fees. And this is a service that you can make money on. So you're not even doing any of the work, but you're able to make a little bit of money on the money that they collect. Quick collect. All right. Here's one called Choice Pay. This is designed to actually help the patients pay their liability, what they owe, more efficiently and effectively. So in other words, if a patient has a large amount of money that they owe a doctor, this Choice Pay service allows them to pay that in smaller monthly amounts, and they can set up a bank draft or a credit card payment or however they want to do it. And the fees are adjustable that they pay each month, and it makes it very, very easy for the patients to be able to do that, instead of them just getting a bill and saying, oh, well, I can't pay, $1,000, whatever, throw it in the trash. So they can get on this system, and it's a web-based system. You're going to find all the stuff we do is web-based, and we don't like paper. All right, so we've got a service called iDocs Now. This service is a way to scan and retrieve and archive all of the medical documents that a doctor has that they have to keep on file. So there is a minimum 7 years requirement for storing medical documents. And what this service does, this is really cool. So we have had licensees offer this iDocs Now service to a doctor, and they have been able to scan and archive all of their historical files and literally get rid of their filing cabinets. So they've been able to get rid of their filing cabinets and free up space, and some doctors have been able to use that space as another exam room. So they've been able to, in some cases, have another exam room and bring in more revenue that way. So this has been really great. Everything is fully indexed, very easily searchable on our web-based platform that we have for this. And this right here, guys, is a service that you can also offer to non-healthcare companies, education, government. They love this service because there are still tons of companies and industries that are trying to go paperless, and they just haven't been able to do it yet. So this iDocs Now really helps them do that. Let's see, we've got a question here from Tiana. Are these services included in the initial fee, or are you paying extra for each individual service? That is a great question. So all of these services are included with your business package when you pay the initial fee to become a licensee. And the model is very similar to like what I just explained with the CodeWrite service. Every service that we have, the model is basically the same. There's a technology partner or ABS ourselves. We're actually doing the work for you, and we're charging a reduced fee that you are marking up, and you're passing that cost through to the doctors. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me know. All right, so we've got another one here called Compliancy Guard. This is a brand new service that we just started offering, and this is for HIPAA compliancy. So if we actually talk about this in training, some licensees have been able to walk into a doctor's office and ask to speak with the HIPAA compliancy officer in the office. And it's really funny because 9 times out of 10, when you do that, the person that's there, the person behind the desk, the blood just goes out of their face, and they're just like, we don't have one of those, And so all they've got regarding HIPAA compliancy is like a little manual that they have sitting on a shelf that's covered in dust. HIPAA compliancy, for those that don't know, that is doing everything that the government requires to maintain the safety and integrity of patient data. That's what HIPAA means. So in other words, if you've got, if a doctor's office has a bunch of patient files laying around and they're open by the front desk for anybody to just kind of walk by and see what's going on, that's a HIPAA violation right there. If a doctor is using like a Gmail or a Yahoo email address to send sensitive data, that's a HIPAA violation right there. So just lots of little things like that that doctors don't think about, and they could get into huge trouble. So that's another one that the government's really cracking down on, is the HIPAA compliance. So we have a service where we will come and do all of this risk assessment, and we have a web-based platform where the doctors and their staff can go and very quickly and easily get trained on proper HIPAA compliance. Even when the doctor has turnover, when he has new employees, they can very easily go to this site and get trained on HIPAA compliance. that's been a really big door opener, that service right there. All right, so let's talk about training and support now. This is the meat of it all right here, guys. This is why you would want to do business with ABS, okay? So we do a live training, like I mentioned. It's a 5-day class, or you can do it online. But at the end of your training, you will become a certified medical revenue manager, a CMRM, okay? And what that means is that means that you're going to be able to speak intelligently after that 5-day class about AR receivables, about reimbursement, about coding, about electronic medical records, different payment options for patients, different marketing techniques that the doctors can use to bring in more revenue, all kinds of things that you're going to be able to speak intelligently about. And it's almost, I mean, it's really good for you. It's almost kind of sad, but really good for you. When you finish the 5-day training, you will know more about revenue cycle management than a large majority of the office managers out there. I mean, literally 85% of the office managers out there, you're going to know more about RCM than them in that 5-day training. I know it seems hard to believe, but we cram a lot of excellent information into that 5-day class. When you finish the class, you will receive this certification. So you can use that CMRM designation on your marketing materials. A lot of people do that. When we talk about, you know, I get questions a lot from people about, why don't doctors just do this themselves? Why don't they just use, you know, some software or something and do it themselves? It seems fairly easy. Well, it's really not. I mean, there's a lot that goes into revenue cycle management in making sure that they're doing everything in this little wheelhouse right here to make sure that they're maximizing their revenue and not you know, wasting time chasing down money or anything like that. So it starts with the very first phone call. Honestly, revenue cycle management starts with the very first phone call from a brand new patient and how that's handled. And there's a ton of doctors' offices that are not doing that very efficiently at all. You know, the very first phone call, they'll make an appointment with a patient and they'll just hang up. They'll say, okay, we'll see you in a week or whatever, and that's it. They don't verify insurance, they don't check insurance, they don't do anything. And then what happens is they wait till the patient shows up for their visit, and that's when they give you that clipboard, you know, with 200 pieces of paper on there you got to fill out. It's a pain. So it starts with the very first phone call, how the patient is put into the system, the insurance eligibility. I'm about to show you some screenshots and stuff on our system and how that really helps doctors make sure that they're dealing with patients that have good insurance and they're not wasting their time on people that don't have insurance that's active. But all kinds of stuff goes into how the claim is entered, you know, how the doctors deal with the patients and what kind of medical records platform they're using, how easy that is to use, and then sending those claims in and following up on what's coming back from the insurance companies, and then analyzing all the data and helping doctors post their payments that they're receiving from patients, making sure that they're coding right. A real big one is called denial management. That's where you're actually working with any denied claims and making sure those are reprocessed and paid promptly. So all kinds of stuff goes into what we are training you, and it's just a lot of information. But there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that licensees are doing for their doctors outside of just clicking a button to send a claim in. It's a lot more nuanced than that. So when you come to our training, our live training, we give you hands-on on the system itself. So the very first thing that we do on Monday is we get you hands-on with laptops and we show you the iClaim medical billing system, and we have you processing claims. By the middle of Monday, the first day of training, you guys are processing claims on the system. That's how easy it is to learn, but we get you hands-on with it. So this is a flyer for iClaim here. You've been seeing some of the flyers and marketing materials. This is one of the flyers, one of the many things that we put your name and logo on right here on the left side. But this is what the screen looks like on the right there. That iClaim system is what you'll be using to process the claims and do a lot of other things. And it runs on any computer, any PC, any Macintosh, any browser. We actually have the platforms that run on smartphones, iPads, you name it. So it makes it very easy for you and very easy for your clients as well. If your doctors can get on the internet, they don't have to upgrade any equipment or hardware or anything like that. So we teach you how the doctors interact with the system through the medical records platform here. We also show you how the front office can interact with the system, and those are the people behind the desk. They can do scheduling, they can do insurance verifications, they can register new patients, they can receive the patient's co-pays and record that in there, all kinds of stuff the front office can do. And then we also get into very heavily on the billing company, of course, you, and how you interact with the system as well. It's a full-blown practice management system, I guess. That's my point, is it does a lot more than just billing, and there's a lot of features that the doctors love to use, and there's features that the front office staff love to use. So we also do a full demonstration of the iClaim platform for you live and walk you through that. But when you get to the hands-on part, we show you, first of all, we show you the old school way of putting claims into a system. And it starts with this picture here. I don't want to get too technical on you, but this document here that you see on the left, that's called a super bill. The super bill is the document that doctors use, and this is like it's like a cheat sheet. It's what a doctor uses, the codes that they use on a regular basis. It basically will usually fit on one sheet of paper. And so some doctors, and this is how it used to be done by every doctor, but some doctors are still doing this. They're circling, they're using a piece of paper with these codes on here, and they're circling the different codes that they want you to put into whatever system you have to do the billing. So we walk you through the old school way of doing things. The neat thing is even if the doctor is trying to fax you these paper documents, you can use our iDocs Now service, and it comes in as a secure PDF on your end. So you still don't have to deal with paper, even if the doctor is dealing with paper. So we show you how to create the claims with the super bill. There's a patient intake form that we go over and kind of show you how doctors collect the very basic patient demographics is what it's called. And then there's that super bill over there on the right, and we go through all of how to put that stuff in by hand, which is the old school way of doing it. But we want you to know how to do it that way because it's important to know all ways of doing things. But then the cool part is after you do all that, we show you the really easy way of creating a brand new patient record by checking their insurance and clicking one button, which is a really, really cool feature that's unique to us. And then we also show you how the doctors are able to select the codes in the medical records platform that we have on an iPad or a laptop with just touching with their finger. It's much, much easier doing it that way, much more efficient. So here's a picture of that EMR. We call it EMRX. That's our brand name for the medical records system. Now, this is the system that the doctors use. You are not using this system, but they use this in the exam room with the patient. So we actually have designed our system to run natively in the Safari internet browser on the iPad. It also runs on any other tablet, smartphone, laptop, PC, you name it. But doctors love using the iPad because it runs full-featured. That you're not using like a watered-down app or anything. There's a lot of competitors where the iPad was kind of an afterthought, and they had to re-engineer a Windows product to work on a tablet, and it doesn't work that well. But the doctors love this because you just go to the Safari browser and you log in, and boom, there it is, the full-blown thing. But this is what we also show you in the training. We just kind of, we want to show you several features in there that doctors love, and so you get a little bit of hands-on with that as well. And like I mentioned, it's a fully cloud-based system, all-in-one, certified technology. That's important. When I say certified, without getting too technical, there are a ton of different certifications that the government requires of medical records platforms. And just recently, they've started updating all the medical codes, and they've come out with these new payment models that doctors have to follow to get paid properly. And there are a lot of systems, especially the non-cloud-based ones, that are not certified for some of these new payment models and things yet, and they are really hurting the doctor's bottom line. Well, what we do is, because our system is cloud-based, anytime the government comes out with a new, well, you got to do it this way instead of this way, you know, we changed, you used to do it this way, you know, a week ago, but now you got to do it this way. We've already certified our system for any of those changes, and we do them immediately. We push them to the system immediately. So you never have to worry about downloading any updates or installing anything. Every morning when you log in, every morning when your doctors log into the system, they have the latest, greatest version of the system. And any question, the doctor will ask you, you know, are you certified for this? Are you certified for this? The answer is always yes. And we can show them the certifications if they want to see them, and just let them know that we take that kind of stuff very, very seriously. So there is no other as up-to-date system as ours is. It's pretty cool. We also do a full demo of the EMRX system for you as well, so you can kind of get a feel for that, even though you're not really going to be in there on a day-to-day basis, but we show you how we teach the doctors and the staff how to use the system. So that's another thing we do for you. A couple questions coming in here. Let's see. On the research guide for ancillary services, what is the one-time setup fee? Is that one-time fee for licensees? Okay, so Jessica's asking about a research guide, which I'm actually going to talk about here towards the end of the webinar. It goes into each of the services that we have. It's a PDF. It's like 40-something pages. It goes into each of the services that we have, how that service works, and what kind of income versus operational costs you can expect based on how many clients you have using that particular service. So if you want to really get into the nitty-gritty of the numbers, that's the document that you want to check out. So every one of them is different, Jessica. So you know, get back with your business coach, and they can help you kind of go through that research guide and figure out which service and what and all that kind of stuff. Tiana's asking, where do the live trainings take place? Those take place in Grapevine, Texas, which is basically the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We do it at a hotel right near the Dallas-Fort Worth airport, and those are done every 7 weeks. Erica is asking, do you provide leads, or would I have to find my own clients? Ooh, that's a good question, Erica. We're actually going to get to that here in a moment. So if I don't answer that here in the next several slides, then type another thing in there that says, hey, you didn't answer my question. Answer my question. All right, so let's go into the next couple of slides here. Here's the customized EHR. This is just another screen of the EMRX training. And by the way, if any of you on this webinar want a full demo of the iClaim system, the EMRX system, we would be happy to do that for you. So just get back with the business coach that invited you to this webinar, and we can give you a full demo of this and let you see anything that you want to see in the system. And we're proud of it. We love showing it off. So just let us know on that. The EMRX system can connect to all the major labs. That's the other thing, is we have built our own clearinghouse, which I know technical stuff here, but the fact that we have our own clearinghouse means that we can connect to all the outside insurance payers, pharmacies, labs, all kinds of stuff, and we're able to do it very quickly and efficiently and get the best clean data transmitted back and forth between those outside companies. So again, do a demo with one of us, and it'll all make more sense when you see that. The other thing, another couple of things here with the EMRX that doctors love is they can chart their encounters with the patients, like when they're in the exam room with the patients. If they're using an iPad, they can input information in any of what we call the 3 T's, which is touch, talk, or type. So they don't have to use any separate apps or devices or anything like that. They can touch everything that they want to with touch. If they would rather type, you know, a little keyboard will come up on the iPad, and they can just start typing away. Or they can actually use the built-in Siri function. You know, the iPads have Siri, and do full dictation. And we've actually tested Siri on the top medical terms, and Siri has come back 96% accurate on medical terminology. So doctors love it. They can use a separate, you know, Dragon dictation app or something if they want to, but they don't have to. So designed for speed, flexibility, Very, very user-friendly. Doctors love it. Okay, we also give you marketing training, and that's actually the bulk of our live training class. I would say 60–70% of our live training class focuses on business development and marketing and how you are going to get your foot in the door and get business and start generating revenue. So you can see here that Patrick is actually doing a session on marketing. This is one of our classes that we had here recently. And we just go into all the different methods that we have come up with that we have been kind of perfecting over the years. I mean, guys, we've been doing this for 25 years. We're doing something right. Our licensees are doing something right. Our licensees are signing up hundreds of doctors every month. So what we've done is we've taken about a dozen different marketing methods that we have just really perfected and tested. That's the thing, is they're tested and proven. And we teach you how to follow these exact steps that we've put together, that we've been teaching people over these years. And so at the end of the training on Friday, what we do is we get with each one of you individually and say, what are your goals for this business? And we help you put together a customized marketing plan that gives you a step-by-step, set of instructions that says, okay, when I get back home on Monday, what do I do week 1? What do I do week 2? What do I do week 3? It's very specific. And if you just follow those steps, it's very much a turnkey business, which means you just follow these steps, and eventually you're going to run across a doctor that needs help, because almost all private practice doctors are really, really struggling right now. So we teach you how to look for power partners. I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Power partners, or strategic partners, is what we call them. And this is how you get business. You asked a question about leads, Erica. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, we used to provide a lead list, and you can get those online anywhere. We can actually show you how to go online and get a list of 100,000 doctors on a CD or whatever if you want to. But what we have found is very, very ineffective, because they're calling them leads, but really it's just a contact database. And we had licensees that did not have very much success with that, because there was no connection. There was no level of trust. The doctors only want to do business with people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. And that is what we focus on with helping you get business. So it starts with these power partners. So we show you how to find people that are pharmaceutical, medical device salespeople, CPAs and attorneys that work with doctors. Bankers is another one. Realtors, people that sell property to doctors. And there are also medical insurance salespeople that have a doctor database already. All of these people here are excellent power partners for you, because we show you how to build relationships with these people, so that the next time they're out and about, doing whatever they do, networking at luncheon, breakfasts, things on the evenings. Maybe they're on the golf course. Maybe there's a pharmaceutical rep that's playing golf with a doctor. I don't know. I don't think they're allowed to do that anymore, but let's say they are. And the doctor's mentioning, I'm really struggling because my biller just quit and I don't know what I'm going to do. Or maybe they're saying, I'm looking for some new software. We really hate our software. Just some kind of offhanded remark like that. And then the pharmaceutical rep remembers, oh yeah, I remember I met this revenue cycle manager at this event. I should put you guys in touch with each other. So that right there is a warm referral, and that's exactly how our licensees get business, because when you get that warm referral, there's already that little bit of trust there because you guys know the same person. So that's what we teach you how to do, is build relationships with those people. We don't teach cold calling. We don't teach just email blast, 10,000 leads or whatever. Especially don't do direct mail. I mean, until you get a business going very large where you can kind of afford that kind of cost. That stuff, you get a very, very low return for your investment on some of that stuff. But networking, you're talking about your time and gas money is really all you're talking about. There may be a small fee to join a networking organization, Chamber of Commerce, different things like that, where you're going to, something in the morning or maybe a luncheon, like I said, things in the evenings, things on the weekends and stuff like that. So we have spent thousands and thousands of dollars creating these marketing materials. You can see that they have a very professional, unified look, and we have marketing materials for each one of our services. And the one in the middle is just a generic, hey, doctor, you need to shore up your revenue cycle management, and we have a lot of different ways to help you with that. And these materials, we actually take your name and logo and print them professionally at a print shop, and then we ship them to you so that you can have your own company's brand on these materials, and you're marketing our branded service names as your own. So that's how this works. So you're going to be telling doctors, hey, I just opened up this new local office here. We do revenue cycle management, consulting, all kinds of things for doctors. And I have all these different solutions for you, but before we do any business, before we talk numbers, I need to really know what's going on in your practice. So we teach you how to do a practice analysis. But what we do is we position you as the subject matter expert. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. When you finish our live training class, you will be a subject matter expert. And it's very, very easy. We actually show you some cool little tips and tricks on how to quickly become the subject matter expert. So that when you speak about what you do, you'll have an office manager or a doctor saying, wow, this person is different. They're not just coming in here saying, oh, well, I do medical billing. They've been there, done that. But if you talk about revenue cycle management, consulting, and doing a practice analysis and all kinds of stuff, that really perks up their ears. They really listen after that. This is a big one. So we have written, well, I say we, our founder, along with one of our partners, Dr. Vicki Rackner, they put together this book. This book is called the New Thriving Medical Practice Book, and it was written specifically as a marketing tool for our licensees. So we're not talking about just flyers and postcards and stuff like that. This book right here, what we have done is we have written a foreword to this book, and we've come up with a way to customize this book with your name as the writer of the foreword of the book. Now, you can write your own foreword, but we have one ready to go that you can use if you want to. And so what we do is we put your name right there at the bottom of this book, so that when you hand this book to a doctor, oh, which by the way, they don't have to read the whole thing. We know they're busy. So we show you in our training how to bookmark and highlight just a few key sections of the book that, in all honesty, they're pointing the doctors to outsourced medical billing. I mean, that's the idea here. But that book right there is a huge credibility for you. If any of you were on our webinar last week where we interviewed Nida Plebletti, she told a great story about how she gave this book to some of her some doctors. And they contacted her saying, we loved your book, Nida, we loved your book. And she had to say, oh, I'm sorry, I have to correct you there. I just wrote the foreword. I didn't write the book. But I mean, just her giving them that book, they just assumed she wrote it. So that just sets you apart so much from the other people out there that are just, they're printing a trifold brochure on their home printer, and they're walking into a doctor's office and saying, here's my medical billing brochure, give me a call. And then when you leave, that goes right in the trash. But this is different because doctors love to be educated. And this is exactly what this book does. It educates the doctor on how to generate more revenue, how to thrive in private practice, looking at a lot of different things in their practice and making sure they're doing everything right that they possibly can. And here's just a quick view of the inside of the book. So we put your name down here on the front. We put your name right here on the first page. And then we put your name and contact information at the end of the foreword that we have already written for you. This is huge, guys. We've had licensees that have gotten clients signed up just by giving them this book. I mean, that's all that it takes in some cases. So that's huge. Let's see if we got any questions. Let's see, questions. Tiana, do you have many licensees in the state of Georgia? We've got licensees in every state, but only a sprinkling. So there's plenty of room, and I can tell you right now, I know where our big producers are at, and there's really not any in that area that are doing a huge amount of business. So there's plenty of room in Georgia. If you get back with your business coach, they could actually go over more in depth looking at certain zip codes and cities and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, the way that we do the marketing with networking and getting referrals and stuff like that, you know, you're just not going to run into any other licensees. It just doesn't happen the way that we do the marketing. This is another book here that is brand new, hot off the presses, that Eric mentioned at the beginning of the webinar. Yours truly, me, I wrote the foreword of this book, but this book was written by Vicki Rackner, one of our business partners that I mentioned. She's a retired surgeon, and she has come up with a very succinct, short, sweet, to the point book that is 10 critical questions that physicians should be asking themselves if they want to stay in private practice. Also, it lets them know, hey, even if you're wanting to sell your practice, you still need to make sure that when your practice gets valued by an outside company, that everything is in order. You know, all your T's are crossed, all your I's are dotted, all your coding is done right. So there's a lot of steps that doctors need to take. Even if they're thinking about retiring and selling their practice, they still need to read this book because it's very important. Quote from one of our licensees that we just got recently that just read it. This is the best marketing tool ABS has come up with in a long time. Short and to the point. That was one of our licensees. That was a quote that we got. So that's another great book that you can hand out in addition to the New Thriving book, or maybe if the circumstance is they just need a much faster read, a smaller book, this is perfect as well. So we've got that available. After I've said all of this about marketing and how relatively easy it is for people, even if they don't have any, you know, sales experience, we've designed this program for people that have never done sales, never been in healthcare, nothing, because it's very much just a consulting type business, and you're not ever trying to force anything or be aggressive or twist anybody's arm, or, you know, what you're doing is you're doing an analysis of a doctor's practice, and then you're making a diagnosis and saying, you know, I think you could use these particular services. I have solutions, you know, for your problems. That's it. You know, it's a matter of, you know, do you want them or not? So all that being said, if you still feel like, I don't know if this is for me, I don't want to try to sell anything, I don't want to talk to anybody, we have a sales rep program, okay? So we have a complete program where we can show you how to find people in your area who would be happy to sell these services to doctors, and they already have a contact database of doctors. And this goes back to that slide that I showed you, the pharmaceutical reps, the medical device salespeople. There's all kinds of people that already have a database of doctors, and they would be happy to get out and offer these services as well. Don't have time to talk about it today, but if you get back with your business coach, they can talk to you about how to pay those people, you know, with commissions and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, you can have other people out there doing it for you. All right, so we show you how to find the sales reps, how to interview them, how to hire them, how to train them. I mean, ultimately, you have to, you know, make your own decisions on who's going to be best for your company. But we have all the training collateral to get sales reps hired and how to pay them and all that. We give you a full overview of support and how we're going to support you at the end of the live training. And basically, it's anything that you can think of. I mean, we want you to be successful. We want you to win because we make a little bit of money from our software company for every doctor that you put on the system. So that is our vested interest in you, and that is why we're gonna do whatever we can to help you get business. So that's why we don't charge you any royalty fees or support fees or anything like that. But we do make a little bit of money from the software company, and it's a win-win situation. I mean, it's just a great model because everybody succeeds when you do. We have a full room full of support people ready to support you, hundreds of different support people working remotely and in our offices here with any kind of issues that you need. So we're going to help you with any kind of marketing help, technical support. We actually do a lot of the heavy lifting for you as well whenever you sign up new clients. we do the training and implementation of the iClaim system for you. So that's a huge burden lifted off of you. You don't have to be the trainer of the system for your doctors. We do that for you. We also will do the help desk support. So whenever your clients do get up and running and you're doing business with them, we offer the full help desk. They can get help desk technical support directly from us. Here's one more shot of that certification that you get. We put your name there, and you do receive that on Friday at the end of the training on Friday. We are right at 5 o'clock. Wow, that went by quick. Any other questions? Feel free to put them in there. We do have this support website. It's a private intranet that you get access to. This is lifetime access to our support site that you get a login to. This is unheard of for opportunities with our small investment. I mean, there are much bigger franchises that don't have a support site as good as ours. But you get lifetime access to this, and it has hundreds of hours of continuing education. Some people are wondering, how do I learn everything in 5 days? We know we can't teach you everything about the industry in 5 days. We know that. So that's why we give you access to this system so that you can continue your education as you go. Income potential, real quick. If you go to our website after this webinar, you can go to income potential, click on that, absystems.com, click on income potential, click on medical billing income calculator, and the default right here is one doctor that sees 20 patients a day and they work 5 days a week. If you charge that doctor 6%, you're making $31,000 a year on that one doctor, which is only about 1 hour of work a day. It's not very much. So you can see how that can quickly add up. But you can go out there to the website, you can play around with the different numbers. And like I mentioned, we have multiple services, multiple revenue streams. This is just a real quick example of if you've got 3 doctors and you're not only doing the iClaim billing service, but you're doing some of the other services that I talked about. With 3 doctors using these services, you're making $128,000. So it can very, very quickly add up, and you can see that it can be pretty lucrative. Yeah, pretty lucrative. This research guide is what I mentioned earlier. It has a lot of good information on each of the services, how they work, all that good stuff, the nitty gritty that I was telling you about. If you get back with your business coach, they can send you a link to their individual virtual brochure with their picture on there, and there's a big blue button where you can click to download that document. So it's just get back with your coach, and they can send you that link that you see down there, so you can get to that download. One couple of last things here. We have a money back guarantee for our live training. Why wouldn't you want to just come and check it out and see for yourself if we have a money back guarantee? You can come to the training, sit through the whole class. If you hate it, say I'm out, and we give you your money back. I mean, it's easy. You're only out your travel costs. That's it. But we give you 100% of the investment, which, by the way, is 27 grand. It's 26,990 is the investment fee. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that's the one-time fee that you pay up front for the whole business, and everything that you've seen on this webinar is that one-time fee. But if you don't like the training, we give you all that back at the end of the training if you want it, if you need a refund. We've only done that a handful of times in about 15 years or so. So there you go. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll see you on a webinar or maybe one of our training classes. All right. Bye, everybody.